Here I'm going to show you a very simple and basic cake. And now this cake can be used for any celebration, that is New Year cake, New Year or birthday cake, anything you want to celebrate, you can use this cake. And it's called the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. That is 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour and 4 eggs. So that 1, 2, 3 and 4. What we have to do first is, obviously, you have to cream the butter. Then what I do is I add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Okay. Okay. Now what I do is add around 2 cups of caster sugar, little by little, half. Now you have to beat it until it's light and fluffy. Okay. Add the rest of the sugar, 2 cups of sugar in 1 cup of butter. 1 cup of butter is exactly 225 grams of butter. Mix it all up. Into this we need a little bit of salt. Now what happened here was I used this, it's not the fault of this, I actually wore tassels. You're not supposed to wear in the kitchen. Okay, it's a good lesson for everyone. You're never supposed to wear clothes with tassels on because this is very dangerous. It can get caught in fire or machines. Now it got caught in this machine and well, now it's not working. So I have to take this out and I have to use another one. Thank goodness I have another one. Okay, so make sure, this is a lesson for everyone, make sure never to wear dresses with long tassels or long sleeves or even anything long because it's very dangerous. Okay, so this has to become light and fluffy and I'm going to add around half a teaspoon of salt. Now to this I'm going to add 4 eggs, okay. So the eggs, and in fact I'm going to break all the 4 eggs in a bowl and add them one by one. After each addition of egg, you're supposed to cream or you're supposed to beat it very well. Now, you can do a different method, that is separate the whites and the yolks and keep on adding the yolks one by one. So you can actually separate the yolks and the whites and beat the whites up differently. Then you can fold the whites in, and this stage you can just keep on adding the egg yolks. But here I'm going to make it easy, simple and easy. So after each addition you have to beat well. So it's 4 eggs. Now if you notice that your mixture is curdling or it's separating a bit, all you have to do is add 1 tablespoon of flour, that's all. So this is the last egg and then we beat well. Now you can see it's become really lovely, light and fluffy. That's how the mixture should be, very light and fluffy. Okay, now this is done. The creaming part of the butter and the sugar is done. Now we'll keep this aside. Don't need this. What we have to do is now add all the wet ingredients apart from the milk is added. Now we have to add or mix in, the sieve in the dry ingredients. For the dry ingredients, we need around 3 cups of flour. Remember, it was 1 cup of butter, 225 grams, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour and 4 eggs, which we already have added. Now, what we do is we have to actually, we need 2 butter paper and we're going to sieve in the dry ingredients. We add 3½ teaspoons of baking powder to 3 cups of flour. Okay, so 1 level, 2, 3, and a half. There. So that is done. No baking soda, just baking powder. Now we need to sift all these together, mix everything together. And we sieve this. Sieve this around 3 to 4 times. Sieving, actually, what it actually helps is, it helps to distribute the baking powder or the leavening agents into the flour uniformly. Okay, then what I do is carefully take this. It's the easiest method. This also incorporates a lot of air into the dry mixture, which is good for a light cake. Here we go. So 3 cups of flour with 3½ teaspoons of baking soda is been sifted 3 times, so it's uniform and done. Now it's over. All we need to do is mix the flour, okay, the flour and baking powder mixture in with 1 cup or 3/4 cup of milk. Now this is more than 1 cup of milk. Now what we have to do is, we have to do it in stages, like 2 times the milk and 3 times the flour. That is 1/3 of the flour first, then half the milk, 1/3 of the flour, then half the milk, then finally 1/3 of the flour. So what I do is 1/3 of the flour, okay, and I need a big spoon. This is a really good spoon. Mix it well. A little bit of the flour, a little bit of the milk. And then the other half of the milk. So we get a nice cake consistency. Now, before all this, you have to preheat your oven to 180 degrees, okay? 180 degrees. Okay, before I forget it, I'm going to preheat my oven to 180. Now, we add the last 1/3 of the sifted flour and a little more of the milk. So altogether the milk is like 3/4 to 1 cup of milk, not more than that. This is around 1.5 cups of milk. Okay, so our cake batter is ready. Now what we have to do is we have to transfer it into 2 spring-formed pans. Now if you don't have, that is 23 centimeters round cake pan. Now if you don't have 2, you can use 1, and then what you can do is you can actually cut it horizontally. All depends upon that. I happen to have 2, so it makes things easier and you get a taller cake. Now what we have to do is we have to transfer this into the cake pan. Yeah, so this is done. Now what we have to do is transfer it. I am going to line these papers. I'm going to line the spring-form pan. Okay. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. What I do is keep this first. In fact, I keep the base, and I've greased the base of the spring-form pan. That's why it's wet. And what I do is one is prepared. So this is how you prepare the base of the spring-form pan. Now what you can do is you can just grease it with oil or a little bit of butter, the sides. But what I'm going to do is just a bit of canola oil. I'm just going to grease it a bit. Try to cut rectangular pieces of butter paper so that it can stick to the side better. It makes it easier to actually take the cake away, remove the cake from the pan. That's why I do this. It's not necessary, but it makes life much, much easier. Much easier. Okay, one is done. Make it as uniform as possible. What we do is transfer this, try to transfer it half-half, because we're going to, layer this cake. So half eyeball, try to make an approximate thing. Or you can actually weigh it, but it's going to be a huge task to weigh 2 things together. Like I said, my oven has been preheated at 180 for around 10 minutes. What I have to do now is bake these together. Now what I am going to do, because I have a big oven, I'm going to bake it together. Otherwise, you can bake one, wait for around 30 minutes, then you can bake the other, and then you're set. But I here am going to bake it all at one time. Okay. Second one. And this has to bake, around 30 to 35 minutes. You have to keep an eye on it. Don't let it brown, because if it browns too much, what happens is that it becomes too hard. Now, I might as well put on this, which I actually took off while I was doing it. When you actually, in the kitchen, do not wear things like this, because it can create problems right now, which is creating problems. Okay, so the tassels might create problems. So don't wear things like this, especially when you're near the fire or baking or mixing or everything. The cakes must be done now around 30 minutes, probably 25 to 30 minutes, because I have done it in 2 pans like you know. So if you do it in one pan, probably it will take a bit more, but these are in 2 pans. Okay. Okay, now they're golden brown. No, they're actually not golden brown, they're golden. They should be golden. Now, you have to leave these beauties to rest. And actually to cool down. Once they cool down, then we can take it out from the springform pan and then we can start our decorating. Now, I've got some whipped cream. Well, what we need is, I'm going to make a very, very simple cake. This is actually whipping powder, which I have actually mixed with a little bit of milk and whipped it up, and it's become whipping cream now. This is what we're going to use to frost the cake, and then we'll put our fresh fruits in it. Okay, so first what we're going to do is going to take a cake stand, and these are cool now, so with springform pan now, this is the good thing about springform pan, you can easily take it out and you can easily take, it will come out very easily. And we put it one on this side, take it out carefully, very carefully. We take butter paper out. Okay, and we keep the flat side in. And what we're going to do now is I am going to actually I'm going to put a little bit of cream here. Don't go all the way to the edges, because if you do, then it's all going to come out. So keep a little space, because once you put the other thing on top, then it's going to go down, and it's going to push the cream the sides of the cake. Okay, now once that's done, I'm going to add some cherries. These are de-seeded cherries, just a few, and I'm going to actually smudge them or crush them. Okay. Now you can use glazed cherries, but these are cherries, tin cherries, fresh tin cherries, which are really, really good. They're the freshest you can get out here. You can use your normal cherries, what you get in the market, but what happens is that you have to make a sugar syrup, or you have to put them in some syrup, because that's when they'll really get all the flavor of cherries. But this is much easier. The next, what I'm going to do is my next cake pan. Put this on top of this carefully. Frost the entire cake with the whipping cream. You can top this on the top, the whipping cream on the top of the cake, or you can actually cover the whole cake. Okay, so there are some people who like to show the inside of the cake, but today I'm going to frost the whole cake with cream. So be careful when you do it, so that even if you make a mess, you can actually clean it up. But I didn't do that, and I'll probably have to do a lot of cleaning up afterwards. Now my cake is frosted. Okay. Now all you have to do is this is a fresh fruit gâteau. fresh fruit cake. So you need all kind of fresh fruits. The brighter colors, the better. So here I'm going to actually, because it's a white cake, I want to show the white background, and it will actually highlight the colors of the fruits. So first I'm going to put some small strawberries. I'm going to actually make a circle. Next, what we do is I created just a circle because I want this part, the white part, to be left like this. Otherwise, you know, you won't find, I mean, you won't get the beautiful. At first, I'm going to put the kiwis and the strawberries, everything together. My fresh fruit gâteau is done for 2013. This is my New Year present for you. Delicious, colorful, and totally attractive for you.